What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video, and I know some people have already clicked on this and have started freaking out in the comments. Please just hear me out before you freak out, okay? I'm not saying that Bobby Ryan is going to be a Maple Leaf. I'm saying in this video, and what I'm trying to get across, is that I think that players like Bobby Ryan, and other players around the league that get bought out that actually are pretty decent players might be getting a very cheap contract coming up here to free agency and, in a few weeks. Because listen, guys, this stuff's going to be moving real fast, and teams are going to be needing to pick up players left and right, to fill out the roster, maybe make some moves. And because Bobby Ryan is getting paid, he's got a pretty decent contract that just got bought out, which we will get to in a second. His next contract is not going to look very big, and it's not because he's not a good player. It's just because of, his point production isn't exactly where he or anybody else would want it to be, but a fresh start might be something that he's looking for. Now, I also want to say that Bobby Ryan's got one of the best stories in the league, coming back from the alcohol addiction, going to rehab, going to like the program that he did. I just want to say, first of all, my hats off, even though my hair is kind of a mess a little bit, hats off to Bobby Ryan. I love and respect that man so much. I think that he is a great role model for people to go and get help. And look at when he came back, didn't he have that hat trick? Like, he is one of the coolest guys apparently to meet. Like, my buddy Audie has met him and he's so nice. Like, apparently he's just a very good person. So I also just want Bobby Ryan, the person, on my team, because if you can get him to a cheap deal and, he helps out in terms of the community and becomes a leader, for this, one of the leaders for any team, not just Toronto, for your favorite team if you're watching and you're not a Leaf fan. I think that Bobby Ryan could be a very good locker room presence, a good guy to have around, and a guy that has the potential to give you 30 to 40 points on a pretty cheap contract, or who knows, maybe something clicks with any team, not just Toronto, any team, and he gets into the 50-point range. I don't know. He's been a really good player so in his career. He's had some rough years, but at the same time, you have to understand what he's been going through throughout not just, his hockey life, but outside of that. And again, I salute him. I think that he's a fantastic person. But as you guys can see here, this came from a TSN article. The Ottawa Senators placed Bobby Ryan on waivers for the purpose of a buyout on Friday, because the buyout window is on from now until, I believe, Monday. Ryan has 2 years left on his contract at a $7.25 million cap hit and was owed $15 million in real cash. The buyout will save the Senators $3.6 million in cap space in each of the next 2 years, but add a cap charge of $1.83 million in each of the following 2 years. So they are saving some money. But Ryan had 5 goals and 8 points in 24 games. With the Senators this season. Of course, he won the Masterton Trophy earlier this month after publicly sharing his battle with alcohol issues. Like I mentioned before, the 33-year-old Ryan entered the NHL Players Assistance program on November 20th to get help for his alcohol addiction. And again, salute to him. He finished the program fantastic. And when he came back, he had that hat trick there. But just let's quickly look here as well. Ryan has 254 goals and 555 points in over 883 games in 13 NHL seasons he's been around, split between the Ducks and the Ottawa Senators. Now, the Sens view the Bobby Ryan decision mostly as a hockey decision, which is obviously good. If it was anything else than that, then there's definitely some things you got to look into there. Even though I really wish they didn't buy him out. I'm not gonna lie. I wish that they didn't do that to him, but they wanted to open up a spot for a younger player. They wanted to give him a fresh start. So I guess, there's some things that are going for him. Sens have nothing but good things to say about him, but they felt like it was a good time for both of them to part ways, which is very understandable. Between having to sign their RFAs and needing to go find a goalie, cap floor not a concern, while I think some teams are trying to, he spelled trying wrong, to dump contracts on them. Sens are fielding way more calls from teams right now looking to get at their bevy of second-round picks. So Ottawa's got some decisions to make. They definitely need to hit the cap floor, and they have got to spend a bit of money to get there. So they're going to get interesting. They're going to get creative. So we'll have to see what they end up doing. But getting into some stats here for Bobby Ryan, and this is what I wanted to bring up here. Obviously, last year, 24 games, 8 points. But the season before that, 78 games played. He had 42 points, including 15 goals and 27 assists. Now, I don't know how much Bobby Ryan's next contract could be, but I would imagine teams are going to be willing to take a flyer, and I'm thinking that it's got to be in the $1 to $1.5 million range, maybe a little bit less. I can't see him making more than that, especially because he is getting paid quite a bit of money. I'm not sure that money is really the issue right now. He's probably going to be looking for a fit in which, he's going to get some decent playing time, and he's going to have a chance to have a nice refresh. Now, I would throw Toronto's name in there because they're trying to cut out players like Andreas Janssen who make over $3 million and the possibility of a Kerfoot that makes 3.5. And getting in a guy like Bobby Ryan, if it's anything under 2 million, maybe $1.5 million, like I said, maybe $1 million. I don't know how much money he's gonna, end up getting on the open market. But you're saving yourself a bit of cash, and you still have a guy that can put up 30 to 40 points for you with a full season. I mean, he's consistently been, in the 20 to 40 point range for the past 3 years. And before that 56, 54, like he's able to put up points, and I'm wondering with the right guys around him, how much more points would he be able to put up? Like maybe put him on the second power play unit in Toronto, let him get some power play points, get a bit of a swagger back on the power play. If he plays well enough, maybe if the first power play's not looking so hot, you can swap him out with somebody in there. Just give him an opportunity. And I would think that the Leafs would love to have him on the third line, have him playing with maybe a Mikheyev, maybe a Robertson, depending on what they do, maybe Pierre Engvall in center, maybe it's still Kerfoot, maybe they just trade Janssen. I don't know. There's a bunch of different opportunities there. But, obviously I bring up Bobby Ryan because he is the first real buyout that's happened. And some other teams like Columbus are looking at Wenberg, I believe. Like there's some guys that are, potentially getting bought out. And by the time this video goes up, who knows? Maybe something's broken on Twitter already about somebody getting bought out. But it doesn't necessarily have to be Bobby Ryan. Would I enjoy it? I think it would be pretty awesome to see him in a Leaf uniform. I think that he would really be a good option. I mean, look at Tyler Ennis. He came in at like under $1 million. He came in at like $700,000. I think it was even like maybe $625,000. And he was good in Toronto. He really was. He put up some points. And, if the Leafs were able to get some sort of production like that out of Bobby Ryan in the 30 to 40 point range, if he's only making $1 million, I mean, listen, you're laughing at that point. That's nothing. I mean, you want to cut out guys that, like an Andreas Janssen is being replaced by Nick Robertson, because I think Robertson's going to score 20 this year. 15 to 20 goals, you're laughing. That's all you need from him. If you're able to bring in a little more toughness in free agency from saving some money, you can build this bottom six with guys that, bring a different element to the team. And I think that, if you have some physicality mixed with a Bobby Ryan type player who can give you some decent points, it just makes sense to me. You're cutting costs of more expensive players, and you're getting guys that can put up maybe the same amount of points just for less money. And that's something that the Leafs need to look into. And like I said, it doesn't just have to be Bobby Ryan. It could be another player that gets bought out. Because if a Wenberg or something like that gets bought out, or if there's a trade possibility to get a guy a little gritty that can play on the third line at the center position, the Leafs are really going to explore cutting as much cost as they can to upgrade that blue line. And I think that that's their number one thing to do right now. And again, don't knock me if you don't believe that Bobby Ryan's going to come in at $1 or $1.5 million. I just think that teams will look at how much money he's getting paid because of the buyout and think, well, I mean, we don't really have to spend this much money on him. Let's just toss an offer at him and hope he accepts, because I'm sure he'd love to go to a contender, unless he wants to make a decision based off of maybe preference for family or preference for, just keeping himself in a good spot. And I would respect any of those decisions. I'm sure he never watches my videos, but I'd love Bobby Ryan to come to Toronto. And if you do end up seeing some clip like this, please come. I think that'd be awesome. I think it'd be really cool to have him on that third line and, have a guy that can move up if an injury, God forbid, happens. He's not going to go out there and score the lights out, but at least you have a guy with experience that can play in a top six role for a limited time. So I don't know, just an interesting thought. Let me know down below. And again, it does not just have to be Bobby Ryan. Put some suggestions down below. Do you guys see, like, who do you guys see getting bought out? Could the Leafs benefit from any of these guys? If you're not a Leaf fan, let me know down below whether or not you think your team will be in on Bobby Ryan or other people that are getting bought out. And I know I've seen some comments lately of people saying, you got to make more videos about other teams around the league. Guys, trust me, I've just been so busy and I've been trying to put out as many videos as possible. And I'm planning out videos about like Patrick Laine, the Habs, possibly some stuff on Winnipeg, Calgary. I'm preparing these things and those videos will come. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. I know, people get annoyed by Leaf fans all the time. I understand. We get a lot of media coverage, although a lot of it, some of it is pretty crappy media coverage. Like, they're always crapping all over the Leafs, which is kind of hard to stomach sometimes. But anyways, thank you guys for sticking around. And if you are new, make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Join the squad. Let's get to 8,000 subscribers. Thank you guys again for all the support. I appreciate you guys, as always, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video or stream. Peace.